Am I the asshole for not letting my partner, fake, propose to me while on vacation? Genuinely was not sure what sub to post this in. My F28 partner, M30, and I went on vacation last week for our 2-year anniversary and just got back 2 days ago. It was a fantastic, amazing and romantic vacation, all up to the point when my partner suggested we ask a stranger to take a picture of us in a fake proposal in front of the Eiffel Tower. When he asked this, my heart started beating so fast, I immediately assumed he was saying fake proposal as a ruse for a real proposal, which is not something we had talked about yet. I think I just said, "Wait, what do you mean?" And he said that proposal pictures in this spot were really popular and that we should take the opportunity while we can. I said that I wasn't really interested in a fake proposal picture and that I thought it was weird that he would suggest that. We moved on pretty quickly and went to dinner. When we got back to our hotel that evening, I asked him about it, since it had been on my mind and I could tell that I had actually really upset him. I asked him explicitly, "Were you planning on actually proposing to me and I ruined it?" And he said no, that he doesn't think we are ready for that step, and for the record, I agree. Our relationship was long distance for the first 8 months and I am planning on moving in with him when my lease is up in January. He said that he always thought the proposal picture in front of the Eiffel Tower was really romantic and that he's worried whenever he actually does propose it won't be as romantic as Paris, so he wanted to get the picture while we could. I apologized but told him that I was only interested in actual proposal pictures, and that I would love them whenever, wherever it happened. He has been pretty crestfallen since this conversation and I really feel like I genuinely ruined something for him. I called some friends when we got home and got mixed advice, some agreeing that it was a really odd request, and some saying I should have just taken the fake proposal photo, which would have been no harm done. Am I the asshole for not taking the photo with him? Not the asshole. It is weird, and also tone deaf on his part. Like, what was he planning on doing with the photos? Anyone seeing them online would instantly think it was genuine before reading any accompanying text that explains it's fake. Which is just a dickish move in itself. The only way it would make sense is if he actually was planning on proposing and is too proud now to admit it. But you don't spring a fake proposal idea for that. You just ask a stranger to take a few photos, and they'll quickly realize what's happening. Fake proposals aren't romantic, even in front of the Eiffel Tower. And if he's bummed because he genuinely just wanted to do a fake proposal for shits and giggles and you said no, then boohoo. He's an adult, tell him to get over it. You went to Paris for your 2-year anniversary, why wouldn't you just plan to go again at a later date when he's ready to propose? I don't think it's a red flag, more like a yellow flag to the lack of thought and consideration to pay attention to other people's perspectives outside of his own. Nah, but your boyfriend certainly made himself a little bit of a weirdo not thinking that plan through. Not the asshole. Your friends have missed the point. It would have been harmful to you, and frankly, it's just weird. Now you will always know that whatever proposal photo you take, it will be BF's second choice. It taints your memory of the Eiffel Tower, too. This is exceedingly odd, but you handled it as gracefully as you could. Why would anyone want a picture of a fake event such as proposal of marriage? The photo would never hold any value, it will never portray an event. Recreating a photo of the kiss in Times Square to celebrate the ending of a war, cool, that is a fun one. But a marriage proposal? Does he never plan to propose, and wouldn't he want one of the real deal instead? And what would he do with the fake picture? He'd have to explain to everyone that no, he did not propose, he just wanted a fake one. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. What an odd thing for him to suggest. Was he going to hold on to that photo until he did propose, and then pretend it was fresh? Not the asshole. Then we'll just have to come back to Paris when we're ready throwing kisses. Am I the asshole? My husband, 38. Ate half my 29 food I meal prepped. Am I overreacting? I meal prepped breakfast for a few days as I'm finding I have no time with work to eat. So I decided to meal prep. Before I even cooled it down to put it in the fridge, my husband ate half of it. They were small items, but I'm extremely frustrated as eating 5/12 of the meal prepped food seems excessive to me in one sitting. But also, I was excited to have them every day this week. I kindly mentioned, "Oh, you ate 5? I was hoping to have them throughout the week for my meal prep." I did mention to him I meal prepped them prior to him eating it. He told me I should take it as a compliment, and as a wife I should be happy to make him food and him eat whatever the portion is. He pretty much started freaking out, saying how I'm being not a real partner by calling it out. I don't mind him eating some of it, like let's say if it was 2 or even max 3 I wouldn't care as much, but to eat almost half of it before I even had a chance to eat one. Am I overreacting? Am I the asshole? Let me get this straight, he's just fine as a partner when he eats the food he knows you are meal prepping for yourself for the week. But you're not a real partner because you objected to his inconsiderateness? Not the asshole. Does he always play these kind of gaslighting games with you where he takes advantage of you and then plays victim and tries to convince you that you did something wrong? There's something seriously wrong with this picture. Not the asshole. He knew that was meal prepped food because you told him so. He still ate nearly half of what was meant to be a whole week's food. Bit greedy. He told me I should take it as a compliment and as a wife I should be happy to make him food. I'm sorry, what? He's eaten half of your breakfast for the week and expects you to thank him for the compliment? Freaking out saying how I'm being not a real partner by calling it out. Sounds like he wants servant, not a partner. You're not being a bad partner, you're just not acting like his servant. Some men can get those two confused and expect you to cook, clean, etc. for him, but he doesn't think to do those things for you. The entitlement says it all. He's the one being a bad, very inconsiderate partner. Not the asshole. Not the asshole wait for him to make dinner and then eat 5/12 off of his plate. When he looks at you furious and bewildered, tell him he should take it as a compliment and as a husband he should be happy to make you food and for you to eat whatever the portion is. See how he likes it. Not the asshole, and his reaction was fucking alarmingly misogynistic. Not the asshole. He should have asked you to make some extra for him if he wanted some. Eating multiple portions that you had clearly put aside for later in the week is wild, especially after this was communicated. Does he have no self-control? Is he a raccoon? Am I the asshole for not letting it go when my car got totaled? I, 17M, am a senior in the southern US. The towns near mine are small, so my town and 2 others combined to make the high school. There are elementary, middle schools in all 3 towns though, so I hadn't met many of the people there until 9th grade. Last Thursday when I got to school there were 2 open parking spots next to each other, so I parked there. Everything was fine until the end of the day. My friends, Mark and Joe, were coming over to my house, but we got to my car and I saw it was wrecked. Both of the left side doors were dented all the way from the back to the front. My side view mirror was completely gone. My left tail light was smashed, and the bumper was hanging off. Neither door on the left could open, so I couldn't get in. The car that had parked next to me was gone, but whoever was there did it. Mark and Joe were shocked and I was kneeling in disbelief. I called my dad and he said to stay there and he'd leave work. He called the police, but I was still in shock, so he talked to them before they asked me what happened. I told them what I knew, which was not a lot, and they drove me home while my dad talked to them for a little while longer. Me, Mark, and Joe went back to mine and my dad came home a little while later. He said they'd see what they could do, but there are no cameras in the parking lot, so there was no video. Then, Mark yelled he knows who did it. He had texted his girlfriend and told her about my car, and she said she saw a girl, Annie, driving and the right side of her truck was ruined. Joe had texted his brother and he said that he saw Annie parked next to me since her truck is bright red. Annie lives in another town, but she seemed fine. We weren't friends, but we knew similar people, so we hung out sometimes. Annie has a massive pickup truck, but she doesn't really need one. Her mom's a teacher, her dad's an elementary principal, and Annie works at a grocery store. Me, Mark, and Joe drove over to Annie's house to see if her truck was damaged. Her truck was in her driveway, her right headlight was broken, and her right doors were scraped. Annie ran out of her house and I asked if she hit my car. She freaked out and was yelling. Her dad ran up and said that he'd call the cops if we didn't scram, so we left. Friday morning, I got called into the principal's, Mr. S. office. Annie, her dad, and her uncle, the police chief, were there. I tried to say I knew Annie hit my car, but Mr. S. told me there was a report I harassed Annie at her house. I tried to explain and ask if I could call my dad, but the principal said that they have a zero-tolerance policy for harassment and I was suspended. They told me to leave and the principal told me to just let it go and then I can go back. I texted my friends and most of them told me Annie is crazy and they're with me, but some told me that I should chill cause Annie didn't mean to hit my car. So, am I the asshole? Should I have just let it go? Sorry for the long post. Not the asshole. I would at this point politely at first request the investigation be done by your county police or state police. Her uncle being the chief of police is a huge conflict of interest and it seems like they are completely ignoring the damage to your car that probably totaled it. In addition, make sure your insurance knows about all of this, including the uncle being chief of police. Police like him give the profession a bad name. I have family and friends who are police, law enforcement, and if they had a family member do this they would report the family member in a nanosecond. Not the asshole. Annie committed a hit and run. Report this to the police and your insurance company. Edit. Your principal has a zero tolerance against harassment, but apparently is 100% okay with shielding a felon. Not the asshole. Say you'll let it go once they pay to either fix or replace your car. I hope you got pictures of her car that you can compare to yours to help along with it was her car. I also would tell your dad about what happened and them refusing to let a parent be with you while this talk was happening. Also, harassing is definitely not one approach to ask a simple question. It's multiple approaches over time that increases in aggression. You did not do any of that, however. Let it go? Someone destroyed your car and you let it go. No, but I would take pictures of both cars and see if you can definitively nail down through witnesses or otherwise that she is responsible. If that is the case, I would make a police report and sue her for damages. A slight fender bender maybe can be let go. This was an assault. Also, if she gets away with it, she may end up doing it again to someone else. You are the asshole if you let it go. Not the asshole. Consider talking to your dad about reaching out to your local news station. Not the asshole. I would actually escalate this and press charges. I have zero tolerance for this type of bullshit. Should be pretty easy to prove it was her car. Was there paint left on either your car or hers that would provide evidence? Am I the asshole for taking my necklace away from my sister? I, 16F, attended a sporting event yesterday with my family. This includes my 1-year-old sister, whom we'll call Ellie for privacy reasons in this post. She's super attached to me, so I had her on my lap during the game. At one point, Ellie started to get really fussy and fidgety. She started tugging on my necklace and trying to put the charm in her mouth. I told her, no, sweetie, and took the necklace away from her. We did this back and forth a few more times before I gave up and stuck the necklace down my shirt so she couldn't get to it. When she realized that she couldn't get it anymore, she had a very loud meltdown. My stepmom stepped in at this point, but she was absolutely mortified. She started lecturing me about being the grown-up here, and that I should have let Ellie have the necklace because it would have kept her quiet. She even threw in an "I'm sorry sissy was mean to you" to Ellie. Am I the asshole for taking my necklace away from my baby sister? You are the grown-up here and your stepmom is the one in need of a lecture about the kinds of things that should go in a baby's mouth. Not the asshole. I can see this kid growing up without ever being told no. We have too many of those people. Sigh. Not the asshole at 16. You have more smarts and common sense than your stepmom does when it concerns taking care of your baby sister. You did that absolute right thing. Your necklace is not a toy for a baby. It could easily be broken. Baby could swallow or choke on the charm or worse. Tell your stepmom that you were not mean to your sister, only watching out for her safety. Remind her that, as a mother, it's her responsibility to bring safe toys to keep the baby quiet and happily occupied at such an outing. You should be proud of yourself. You are an awesome big sister and she will adore you forever for loving her so much. Then again, your stepmom could have been the grown-up here and actually parented her child instead of leaving it to you. Your child starts having a tantrum while her older sibling is holding them? Pick up the child and parent. Go all in. And FYI, we never let a child put a necklace charm in their mouth. It is the definition of choking hazard. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your stepmom would have blamed you if Ellie had put it in her mouth and choked. Not the asshole. You behaved like an adult. You behaved like a parent. You are not the parent. Where was your stepmom while sissy was being mean? Why didn't Ellie's mother do something to soothe her rather than just blaming you for your sister being upset? Ellie is very lucky to have you. I hope that I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that this is only the first in a long line of similar situations for you. You clearly love your sister. You know that you love your sister. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise or use that love against you. Not the asshole. You were trying to set a very reasonable boundary and protect Ellie from breaking the necklace or swallowing part of it. Stepmother sounds like a lazy and permissive parent. Ellie is going to grow up to be a real brat if this is her mother's attitude. I'd bet that if Ellie had broken or swallowed it, your stepmother would probably still blame you, saying something like, "You were careless and should have known better than letting a toddler play with it."